a Juan CL presentation.
The following voices are done with this artificial intelligence stuff, whatever that means. Enjoy the video, Earth humans.
I can't believe Disney just allowed my original horrifying design in the Chip and Dale movie, and that was just a couple months after my second movie came out.
We are on a roll so far, Sonic. Both of our movies have been big, and the fans love them, and best of all, we're getting a third movie and with Shadow as the new character. I just hope we get more movies.
I could have my own movie, but it's more likely going to be a show. We'll see how that'll turn out.
I gotta admit, Sonic, reviewing movies and stuff sounds great, but isn't it a little strange that humans on the internet will find out about us? What will Tom and Maddie think of this?
Donut Lord and Pretzel Lady won't find out because I got a microphone instead of a camera. I've been learning about podcasts. They're like radio shows, but online. You don't even need to use a boombox or a car for these things. Now that's cool.
The phone's a micros? I thought it was a little cushioning weapon of some kind, so my voice will only be heard, and I can't be seen. Quite sneaky.
You got that right, Knucklehead. I thought reviewing the Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers movie with just our voices can help me do videos with you two, and if we get accepted, maybe we can do a face reveal.
We have to ask Tom and Maddie about that first. And we need to do more reviews of movies if we aren't making more movies after the third movie.
And if we fail, this recording shall never see or hear the light of day.
Don't be a couple of pessimists, guys. If this review doesn't turn out to be well, I'll just keep our recordings hidden, and if we get back to it, we have to upload it to YouTube. Now let's review the movie, but first, let's do a little backstory. Tails, tell us the history of Chip and Dale.
Chip and Dale are a couple of chipmunks who are a lot older than you think. They started out as a cameo in a Pluto the Dog cartoon in the 1940s before they made appearances in Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck cartoons. They even had their own short films in the 1950s as well.
But decades later, the Little Chipmunks got their own cartoon series in the late 80s and early 90s. It was quite a lot of adventures they had for such a short period. At least that's what the Lord of Donuts told me.
Definitely. Tom kept telling me that the 90s was considered the best decade. Maybe that should be mentioned in the third movie. But anyway, Chip and Dale as a cartoon didn't last forever as the decade progressed, and now a new movie on Disney Plus was made as their comeback.
We just saw it, and it was all right. It felt like a modern day Who Framed Roger Rabbit minus the prejudice towards tunes. Those chipmunks actually met as kids and grew up doing commercials before making their 90s cartoon. I guess they ignored the 1950s.
Suddenly, Dale told Chip that he was going to have his own show, Double O Dale, and a heated argument broke out and causing them to fall out, which led to both shows' cancellation. I would have just finished the first show before starting a new one.
We then cut to 30 years later. Chip became a successful but disillusioned insurance salesman, while Dale spends most of his time on the fan convention circuit and has been put through CGI surgery. Basically, Chip remains 2D while Dale is 3D. My ugly design even makes a cameo, so that means Ugly Sonic is now a separate person, especially because he doesn't sound like me.
One night, Dale and Chip were called by their former Rescue Rangers co-star Monterey Jack, who owed money to the Criminal Valley Gang due to his stinky cheese addiction. Monty warned the pair of a trafficking operation where toons are kidnapped, have their appearances changed, and are shipped overseas to produce bootlegs of their works for the rest of their lives.
Later that night, the two were informed that Monty was been kidnapped. They met this policeman made out of putty and a human officer, Ellie Steckler. The latter announced herself a big Rescue Rangers fan, and with the police's hands tied, she suggested Chip and Dale investigate by themselves.
Chip and Dale visit Bjornson the cheesemonger, Monty's cheese dealer, and asked about the Valley Gang. They were taken to the Uncanny Valley part of town and meet the gang's leader, Sweet Pete, a toon actor who played Peter Pan, now an adult.
Not so fun fact. It's a sad coincidence that Peter Pan as the villain is an unintentional reference to the tragic life story of Peter Pan's original voice actor, Bobby Driscoll. one of Disney's most popular child and teen actors who was fired on bad terms once he reached adulthood and, following numerous legal troubles and hardships, tragically died at the premature age of 31. Apparently, the original voice actress for Wendy Darling from the 1953 film pointed out how the portrayal of Sweet Pete, with the context of Driscoll's later life in mind, came off as disrespectful and insensitive.
That is quite dark. Making a reference to an actor going down a dark path is low, but that's Hollywood. Isn't that right, Sonic?
For once, you actually remember what I told you. But anyway, Sweet Pete's henchmen are Bob and Jimmy. Bob's an uncanny dwarf Viking, and Jimmy's a polar bear who belongs in Coca-Cola commercials. After thinking they are investigating his bootlegging business, Pete tried to capture the pair, but the chipmunks escaped. The two later shared their discoveries with Ellie, learned that she's shunned by Putty due to acting on a bad tip, and raiding the Nick Jr. Channel studios with negative results. Negative.
Peppa Pig was even mentioned, and no, we won't review that preschool show as we all hate it. Especially Knuckles.
With Ellie's help, the chipmunks snuck into a bathhouse to steal Pete's fitness tracker. They traced his movements to a dock warehouse, though it was already abandoned by the time the police arrived. They found a large operating machine designed to alter Toon's bodies, along with several Toon parts, including Monty's mustache.
At the police station, they argued over the loss of Monty and their past feud, but then smelled the scent of Monty's cologne. Realizing either Putty or Ellie is working with Sweet Pete, the two fled the station.
At the ongoing FanCon, they tried to convince Ugly Sonic to ask his FBI contacts for help, but Pete and his henchmen arrived after he tracked Dale using his social media posts. In the ongoing chase, Bob was restrained and arrested, but Chip was caught by Jimmy and taken to the warehouse.
Ellie was also lured there by Putty. He revealed that he was part of the Valley Gang and was covering for Pete, and was the one who gave Ellie the false Nick Jr. tip, while Dale regretted getting Double O Dale in the first place.
Sweet Pete made Ellie call Dale to lure him to the warehouse, but Ellie sent a coded message using a Rescue Rangers episode.
Dale realized Ellie was in trouble and contacts his former Rescue Rangers co-stars Gadget, Hack Wrench, and Zipper for help, and they're now married with children. A lot of them, too. I could imagine having a lot of kids with that stunning rabbit from the games.
At ease, Romeo. Dale entered the warehouse with a colorful explosion called a firework, as it went into the machine and stopped it before it was used on Chip.
The machine went haywire and transformed Jimmy into a fairy and Pete into a giant mishmash of various tunes like Wreck-It Ralph, one of the kittens from the Aristocats, Woody from Toy Story, and Optimus Prime from Transformers.
Ellie fought Putty, and a Terminator reference was made when Putty was gooey. Ellie went on to defeat him by using a fire extinguisher to freeze him. Meanwhile, Pete chased Chip and Dale through the warehouse, and it was revealed to also be where the bootlegs are filmed, not overseas.
The chipmunks lured Pete to the docks and used a ploy from a Rescue Rangers episode to trap him.
The FBI, led by my hideous clone, Ugly Sonic, arrived to arrest Sweet Pete and the Valley Gang. To think he's just a cameo, he actually helped out the main characters. If it was me, I would have made this movie finish sooner.
Sweet Pete fired a cannonball at Chip as he was arrested, but Dale takes the hit. Chip thought Dale died and apologized for his behavior over the years, but Dale reveals he was protected by a golden pog Chip gave him. Pogs were all the rage back in the 90s.
I only know of Pogs because the Lord of Donuts still has them in his basement. The chipmunks freed all the bootlegged tunes, including Monty. Dale introduced the Rescue Rangers to Ellie, who decided to open her own detective agency, while Sweet Pete and the Valley Gang were arrested for their crimes.
As the team leaves, Dale convinced them to film a Rescue Rangers reboot, which was released to great success, and the movie ends. There was even a mid-credit scene of another Disney afternoon character wanting a comeback, and it's motherfucking Darkwing Duck. He deserves one. I gotta say, I have a soft spot for the movie.
Yeah, it's all right. It may not be as impactful as Roger Rabbit, but it's still a fun, creative, modern-day, satirical live-action and animated hybrid. There's so many eagle-eyed Easter eggs and cameos of different franchises.
Indeed, those two chipmunks are a true duo, and they needed the rest of their team with them if they have any more adventures. And we will have a new adventure for our third movie.
Maybe they should just have a cartoon first, before they have a sequel to this movie. I mean, the DuckTales reboot has been a success. I'm sure Chip and Dale will be as well. I still can't get over my ugly design being his own person. Say, I wonder if our rings can go to different universes and not just planets. I've been wondering.
You know, I never really thought about it, Sonic. But I better study on this, but let's wrap up this review. The Chip and Dale movie is fun and silly. We'll wait a couple more years before our next movie.
In the meantime, I'll be outside in the wilderness doing a lot of challenges to prove that I'm worthy of having my own show and stealing the spotlight in the third movie. I know there's no other Knuckles in the universe. Just me.
Maybe in our universe, but definitely not in the multiverse. There has to be different versions of us. I mean, I'm already in both the games and the movies because my voice actor's the same in both.
Tails, you're a genius. Well, that's obvious, but you gave me an idea. We can try to use our rings to teleport into different universes and meet ourselves. I bet they're wacky or different, but I'm sure they're awesome.
Wait, how do I turn off this phone of Micro's? I still hear myself.
There's a big red button that says off, Knucklehead.
Oh yeah, I see the off button. Farewell, audiences of the internet.
Meanwhile,
It's nice of Movie Sonic and his crew to finally show their old movie review.
I didn't even know they had a bunch of recordings of themselves from 3 years ago. They should have told us about it when we first met them, when we all joined the channel.
I gotta say, Tails, clubbing isn't what I had in mind for the bachelor party, but since you and I are marrying Amy and Cream, we deserve to kick back and have a fun dance party.
We can't forget that 4Kids Sonic is also the third groom, as he's marrying his Amy as well. We better tell him that we have the Chaos Emeralds in sight.
Oh yeah, the reason why we have the Chaos Emeralds is because we'll use them just in case Dr. Eggman or any of our enemies ruin our party or the wedding. Tails and I have been practicing being in our super forms lately. It's been too long since we've been golden yellow.
I had to be in a shield bubble in Sonic Heroes, but I finally turned bright yellow with little flickies as my reinforcements. Kinda like Cream with Cheese the Chow, but with more of them.
So you're the one who's the best man for both Adventure Sonic and Tails? Your Shadow should have been the one since he's a hard worker.
I won a bet after flipping a coin with the Shadow from my era. I got heads, and Shadow had tails. The coin landed on heads. Plus, I am a hard worker. Remember that I was the one who did the heavy lifting at Sonic and Amy's baby shower last year.
Fair point. Adventure-era Knuckles. It's great having a men's-only party. Maybe when it's our franchise's next anniversary, we can have a little party in a new man cave Tails built for us.
4Kids Tails made a man cave? I could definitely go there. I deserve one after being a dad for 7 months. I've changed countless diapers and dealt with screaming cries from my 6 babies.
We all changed your kids' diapers, Sonic. We helped you out, and it's been fun. Once Cream and I settle down, I'll already be an experienced caregiver because I want kids of my own. And I know it's gonna be a lot of them.
As for Movie Sonic, I gotta thank him for giving us rings to teleport to different worlds and dimensions. How we got to know each other and the multiverse.
We're already aware of our counterparts being replaced in the games, but we didn't properly know each other until 2023, right when AI was catching on with the voices and music covers.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Movie Sonic is the reason why we're able to know about the multiverse. Those rings are much more powerful than each of our universes.
Speaking of Movie Sonic, he and his crew aren't here in the nightclub yet. It's just the 5 of us. The 3 grooms with 2 of their best men. The next video will be Dreamcast Amy and Cream's bachelorette party and bridal shower since, you know, ladies first.
That'll give us time for the rest of the guys to show up to the bachelor party since we just started. Give this video a like, comment, subscribe, and share. Remember to click on the bell so you won't miss new videos. We've got a lot on the way, and be sure to check out the rest of them as well.
And spread the word. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter.
Stick around and stay tuned for more new videos. The wedding is getting close, and we gotta have fun before the ceremony. Now who will say it this time?
Maybe Tails from my era should say it since it's been too long since he's been around.
That's fine with me. We'll see you all later. Peace out and rock on.
This has been Juan CL Productions. The end.